Welcome back to another episode of Pajama Party Profits. I am your host, Brenda Trott. Some of you call me the Make Money in Your Sleep girl, but I love spending awake time where I get to interview people and share them with you. And most of the people I interview have figured out what they want to do, where they're not working a daily grind and commuting to work every day. They get to do it from home, or like our guest today, from abroad. And I'm not even going to try to say the city that he's in, but Dave works around the world, and he actually has lots of degrees behind his name too. So we're going to tell you what his qualifications are, but the fact is that he helps people through laughter. So please give a warm welcome to my newest friend, Dave. Dave, your microphone's not on for some reason. Let's see.
I think that's because you muted me.
Welcome, Dave. Where are you from? Where are you at right now? You are an American citizen, is that correct?
Yeah. I was born in New York. I graduated from Cornell University with a communication degree. I lived in California for 15 years. I lived in Atlanta for 2 years. And then in 2017, I traveled to 9 countries and wound up here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, formerly known as Saigon. And I've been here for about 9 months.
9 months. But you haven't been there. You've been there for 9 months. But when I read your bio, you did something else for about a year, right?
Well, I'm not sure what you're thinking of, but part of my story is that I've been making laughter demonstration videos every day for more than 2 years, since the start of 2016. So that year, that first year, I was in the US, and most of the year I was just in Atlanta making the videos using Skype. And that allowed me to laugh with people in all 50 United States, and that year alone, 54 other countries. Then at the end of the year, the beginning of the next year, 2017, I was able to leave the United States and travel to a lot of other countries and continue making the videos every day. And now I'm into the 3rd year, I think about 825 days or something like that. And still making the videos every day, teaching laughter yoga classes, teaching public speaking skills for non-native English speakers, so Vietnamese people who have learned English already but want to improve their public speaking skills. I teach them using laughter. And my primary thing is I'm a coach. So I help people who are kind of stuck with stress and overthinking and like really small comfort zones to realize you can do anything. You can express yourself in any way. And the comfort zone is it's just a thought. It's just an idea, and it's not real.
Perfect. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about just in your intro.
That's my story. Yeah, you know everything now.
No. Okay, so the people who watch this show are generally trying to get an idea of what they want to do. They know they want to do something for themselves. They know they want to help people, but they're not sure how. So in a sense, they're a little bit stuck when it comes to what they want to do. But I help them with this show, just in showing them the stories of other people who got unstuck and how they discovered what it is they want to do. But you are unique in that for 9 months, you're where you are. But when you started doing these videos, how did you end up doing them from other countries and continue to do them? Let's start with that, and then I have got more questions.
Okay. Well, many people may not be familiar with laughter yoga, so we need to give a little bit of context here. This is about laughing on purpose for exercise. We have laughter inside as babies are born laughing, basically, even before they can speak a language and understand what's funny. So we all have laughter inside us, and there's many health benefits to laughing, even without jokes and humor. So we practice laughter yoga, and it's done all over the world. So I was already part of this global laughter community, and I was using it in my coaching, in my hypnotherapy, and I'd written a book, co-written a book in 2015 called Laughter for the Health of It. And then in 2016, I just started making these videos and inviting the world to adopt a daily laughter practice, because that's what I do. I laugh every day. And so I started showing people my daily laughter practice and involving other people who laugh every day and sharing their stories about the impact, how laughing every day changes our lives. So I was in a very limiting situation myself at the time as a caregiver for some sick relatives. And I needed that laughter at that time in my life more than maybe any other, when I was doing it under easier circumstances. But it just kept growing and building into, this ultimate freedom to go around the world and keep sharing my laugh and using it in more and different and innovative ways to help other people.
Okay, let's talk about your story a little bit more, and thanks for the background on laughter yoga. I know that I think I used the word quotes when I said you work, because you help people with laughter. And I think just in hearing what you said so far, I think a lot of people, like myself included, I mean, it's hard to put the word laughter and tragedy, maybe those words into the same place. So one quick question that came up when you were explaining that is, well, first, how did you discover laughter yoga yourself, and do you find it difficult to achieve? I mean, it's hard for me to laugh when you're not authentic. So if you're in a rough place, how does that like, I'm really having trouble understanding, like, if I want to cry and somebody says laugh for exercise, it'll make you feel better. That stirs up weird emotions for me. So how do you handle that?
Yeah, okay, so there's a few questions in there, and it's not uncommon for people to wonder, how do you laugh when you're in challenging times or you feel like crying? I mean, that's a very natural question. You asked about a little more of my history first. The very first time I did a laughter yoga class was in 2009. I was living in Northern California. I was on vacation visiting a friend in Southern California, and she'd been going for a while after her husband died. She came to laughter yoga to work through her grief. And I happened to visit her during the time when there was a class, and she took me, and I loved it. But then I didn't see laughter yoga again for a year and a half. I didn't know that it was happening in the little town where I lived in Northern California. But once I found out, I started going. It was a weekly class, and it wasn't enough for me. So I started practicing on my own every day. And the truth is that your external circumstances are not responsible for how you feel. They never are. It doesn't matter if you're winning at life or if somebody you love just dumped you or died. Like, your external circumstances do not determine how you feel. That's determined by how you think about what's going on, about what you remember, about what you're imagining will happen in the future, about the way your body feels at this moment. It doesn't matter. The only moment there ever is now. So we're always feeling our thoughts in the moment that we're thinking them. And I think it feels really good to laugh. And
wow,
I know
powerful stuff.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of health benefits to it. So I just choose to do it, and we can all choose to do it. And that's what I show people. And so laughing every day then turned into exploring with my coaching and hypnotherapy clients, and then, sharing the amazing observations and results with colleagues in the hypnosis and coaching world, and then speaking at conferences and writing books and making videos. And it just kept snowballing. But the main thing to know about laughter yoga is that it's a choice. We have laughter inside us from the time we're born, and we can choose to make joyful sounds. That's really, laughter is the sound of joyful breathing. We're breathing all the time anyway, so we may as well make a joyful sound. And our body doesn't know the difference between laughing at something funny and choosing to laugh. The same muscles, the same brain chemistry, the same changes to our blood vessels and our cells, all this stuff happens automatically from laughing on purpose. So why don't we do some laughing? Because you look really kind of skeptical. You look like a deer in headlights. Like, what is this guy talking about? Is he going to try to make me do something that I'm not comfortable with? Oh no, what's going to happen? Now you're laughing.
I don't mean to look uncomfortable, but what you're saying is a little bit mind blowing. First of all, are you familiar with The Secret? And
Yes.
okay, so it's a lot about bringing in, being in a place of just being in a good vibrational place. And I'm imagining that laughter does that. And if you can figure out how to do that when you're in an uncomfortable situation, because what I'm saying is you were just mind blowing. So it wasn't uncomfortable. It's just my mind was just kind of going all over the place, because what you're saying makes a whole lot of sense. And I think that it's very, very relevant to people trying to get out of that grind work, and they just need that clarity of where they're going. So I think that what you're discussing is can be so helpful to those that are watching, that you really just and you are going to show me, you're going to demonstrate something with me. And I know that I don't know you very well. I've just met you through Facebook, and you were doing some really awesome things. And I said, hey, can you keep that momentum going and come on my show and share what you do? And I know just in the little bit of interaction that we had, that you have a type of personality that is very jovial in itself. And we can talk about your invisible bottle, or borrow my invisible bottle.
It's like an inside joke.
You did make me laugh out loud with that one. So that's awesome. I really do appreciate that. And my mind's still spinning, because I'm trying to, and just a couple more minutes, we'll try that game, and you can tell us more about how to watch your videos that you do daily. Congratulations, by the way. 2 years is an amazing amount of time to do something daily. I mean, some people don't brush their teeth 2 years in a row. So to be able to get on video every single day, that's just amazing. And I really want to know if you can share. And by the way, California, it makes sense. I don't mean to say anything bad about it. It just fits. California seems to be the place that laughter yoga would start. And I know what I saw it like on CNN or that, till it was the first time was in Houston last year. And I really wanted to go. And my guy was with me, and he was like, yeah, we can go. And but he didn't want to. Yeah, we can go. And we get there, and it was like one of those everybody's coming in and going out kind of things. So it wasn't like everybody's starting off slow. It was like you just kind of had to move your way in. And I put the brakes on right there. I guess I looked really uncomfortable. So the person who was not that interested in going went, and he had the best laugh ever. And it was pretty incredible. So, and that was just last year. When I saw what you do, I said, oh, this interview is just going to be so fun. But can you just for the benefit of those who are watching, who are like, how do you turn something like that into a business? It really looks like you said, it snowballed, and you're able to do something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Would you say that you did this even though, let me ask you two questions. Would you say you would do this even though you wouldn't be paid for it? Like if it was all of a sudden illegal to get paid to teach people how to do laughter yoga, would you continue to do it? And not if it was illegal to do it, but illegal to get paid for it. And the other is, do you feel that you're a really good scenario? And tell me if it's different, because we want to know. Would you say that you're a really huge example of do something you love and the money will come?
Okay, so a lot to unpack there. Let me first just go on the record saying that laughing for the health benefits, the spiritual lessons, and everything else is a very, very old practice. It didn't originate in California 10 years ago. And the sort of strain of it, or brand of it, or style of it that I have been taught and now teach others did begin relatively recently in India in 1995 with Dr. Madan Kataria. So California is not by any stretch the only place. It just happened to be where I was when I found it. And when I found it, it was through free classes. And I still teach free classes twice a week. I'm in a park here in Ho Chi Minh City. I do not charge money. I do not accept money for those classes. So it's definitely something that I am and will continue to do for free, but there's no prohibition on it. I'm actually starting a new class at a proper yoga studio that's just hired me starting this coming weekend. And I'm thrilled to get out of the heat of the sun in the park and get into an air-conditioned yoga studio with a beautiful hardwood floor and mirrored walls. This is the kind of scenario and setup that I had when I was attending a regular weekly laughter club back in my beginning. In Northern California, in Arcata, Humboldt. Yeah, I'm super excited about this weekend to kind of, reclaim and recapture a little bit of that old familiar feel to my class here now, but I'll also keep doing the free ones in the park. And as far as doing what you love, yeah, if you're delivering value to people, then they'll pay for that. They'll pay to be guided to the results that they want, to having the kind of experiences that they want to have. So combining the laughter with the other things that I had already studied and been taught how to use for helping people, hypnosis, coaching, mindfulness, laughter, it just made sense to me. It was all very natural. And my approach and my style to working with people is just that. It's natural and authentic, and I just show up and I'm me and we connect, and you get what you came for because you show up the same way, authentic and real and open, and together the experience we co-create allows you to see things inside yourself that you just, for one reason or another, weren't aware of and didn't see before, and things kind of fall away. I don't do anything to people. People look at themselves in a new way, and they see through the barriers that they've created and the obstacles that they've made, and they kind of hear their own BS and stop believing it, and they feel free and they can create what they want, just as I've created what I want.
That's awesome. Okay. So as you're aware, this is on this show, and the little quirky little things we do is play a game halfway between. We've made it to the halfway mark.
I wasn't sure we'd make it.
And what's really funny to me is that a lot of my guests get real concerned when I say, okay, it's time to play the game. They're like real concerned about it. Yeah, like, game, I don't want to play a game. I just want to talk. So it's different with you. I think I'm the nervous one right now because you want me to laugh, and which is very natural for me, especially on this show, because I love bringing people's attention here. But if I'm trying to see if I can get our screen to split, but it will not do it for me. So I'm going to let you explain one of the games that you said. Is this something that you do at the park? Is this something that you do at your corporations? Both of them, or what is it that you're going to show me here?
Well, okay, so there's literally an infinite number of ways to laugh, and we think of them as laughter exercises, sometimes laughter games. The one that you asked me about, the way that you framed your question to me was, what's a good, party game? And so I answered your one, yeah. Yeah, I answered your question directly, but the truth is it's not really, the one that I mentioned is not really well suited to two people. I can explain what it is, but there's better ways for us to engage and spend the time. So what I had written to you about was called Spin the Haha, kind of patterned after Spin the Bottle. And, it's an imaginary bottle. We spin it, and then you point to somebody, and then they laugh, and everybody copies their laugh. And with a big circle, we get to hear a lot of different laughs. But with two people, we're better off just doing something like copycat laughter. Okay. So I'll just make some sounds, and as quickly as you can, you just make the sound back to me. So you copy me. Oh, and all you have to do is just repeat the sound that you hear. And before very long, we'll be laughing.
All right.
Yeah?
Okay.
Ha.
Ha.
Ha ha.
Ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
me. All right, Dave, let me ask you something. Is that all? You're doing this 365 days a year,
At least.
sometimes multiple hours.
Yeah.
Are there times, there's got to be times where you're doing that and you're not authentic? I mean, and you've got to have people come to the class and you're is that you just do the physical part of it and then it turns into an authentic part? You got to explain this to
Yeah.
me. Okay.
That's part of kind of the principles behind intentional laughter. When I said before that your body doesn't know the difference between laughing at something funny and choosing to laugh, I mean that literally. All the same muscles are engaged, like your diaphragm is going to go up and down and pump your lymphatic system, whether there's something funny going on outside you, or you think of something funny, or you just choose to make a laughter sound. Your diaphragm's going up and down. And so you're getting a core workout. And when you do this literally as an exercise for a long enough period of time, we recommend a minimum 10 to 20 minutes every day. You're going to find that your immune system gets stronger, your blood pressure normalizes because laughter dilates your blood vessels. You're going to find that your stress level drops because you produce less cortisol. You're going to have a sense of euphoria, like a runner's high, because we produce what we call happy hormones. So dopamine, associated with pleasure and learning, oxytocin, the bonding hormone that makes us feel connected with the people we laugh with, serotonin, associated with an elevated mood, endorphins, associated with more energy and less pain. So these are just some of the things that happen naturally and automatically when we allow ourselves to laugh. And then when we bring in the element of childlike playfulness, being silly, we experience a sense of liberation as well. And this is part of what I was referring to before when I said looking inside and seeing past kind of barriers and obstacles that we've created, and then having insights, being aware of new things because we've just simply chosen to allow this experience. A lot of people ask me, well, I don't think I could force myself to laugh. How do you make yourself laugh? And the question really misses the point, because we're not forcing or making ourselves to laugh, making ourselves laugh. We're allowing ourselves to laugh. It's already inside, and we keep it inside, unless we choose to allow it out.
Okay, that's a really good segue for another question I've been holding back. And part of the mind-blowing thing is, I think, and I've been thinking, I understand why people might be hesitant to do this. Like, I'm sure you get people who walk in and they're just unsure and not ready to let go. I equate it to when I went to like karate classes and they were telling me to make the huh sounds, and I just wouldn't, like, I couldn't do it. I'd be like, huh, I couldn't get it out. It'd take me home and I can get loud, but in that environment, it was tough for me. But I'm thinking now about inappropriate laughter. So I know that there's got to be hormones involved, because I know that when I was going through all the transitions and I was in high school, I would have to have passes written for me to go leave the classroom because I would have laughing fits for absolutely no reason. I would like start laughing and tears would come down my eyes, and they're like, and they knew I wasn't the kind of person to do this on purpose. So they'd just be like, go take a drink of water, go to the bathroom, get out of here, because everybody was contagious. The whole class would start laughing, and there was like absolutely nothing funny. And this happened more than once. Yeah. So I'm thinking, what if I'm at a funeral and you get that nervous kind of laugh going? Do you have anything to share with us? Are we supposed to look at that differently and just go, oh, it's okay to laugh? Or like, how would you, as a professional, how would you tell the world to deal with inappropriate laughter?
Well, I find your question really interesting because you went from like one end of the pendulum to the other. You're going like, you know, we typically find it difficult to laugh on purpose, and we restrain ourselves, and some people imagine, you know, a limitation that isn't really real, but they think they can't laugh. And now in the same breath, you're asking me, but what if you just can't not laugh because the situation is inappropriate? I mean, like,
I think the reason I asked
is,
you both is because it has to do with they're both in a situation where I think that we've all been in a situation where we laughed inappropriately. And so we take
yeah,
that anxiety with us when we go somewhere and you're telling us to laugh and there's nothing really to laugh about. We're already anxious because we've been in a situation where people look down on us for laughing when we shouldn't. So I
sure,
think that's
sure.
why it was.
And I get that, and I appreciate the opportunity to address this because I think it's really useful to put the two ends of the pendulum together where we can see them at the same time, because the answer is the same. And I mentioned this earlier. It's all imagined. It's all perceived as a limitation when it's not real. You're remembering a time when you laughed inappropriately, but that happened already. In this moment, it's perfectly fine to laugh if you choose to do it. And if you choose not to, that's okay too. Nobody's making you laugh, and nobody's even advocating that you make yourself laugh. So you have this wonderful ability to modulate or calibrate all sorts of things about yourself. Sometimes you talk softly because you're in a library or whatever. Sometimes you gotta be loud because you're at the club and the person right next to you can't even hear you if you don't yell in their ear, right? You have the ability to modulate how loud or soft your voice is, or how fast you talk, or how slowly you speak. You've got the ability to calibrate and modulate so many things. And when you practice intentional laughter, you discover that you have all of this same flexibility and probably even a lot more about how you can laugh. Let's do another laughter exercise and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So in this exercise, we're going to make our mouths really small in the beginning, and you'll be able to see me. Is the audience only seeing one or the other of us? Is that how this works?
I think so, yes. They should be seeing you right now.
So you'll just have to follow me. The audience can follow whoever they're seeing because we're going to be doing the same thing. So what we're going to do is, by the shape of my hand, you're going to see my mouth get bigger and smaller. And as my mouth gets bigger and smiles more, I'm going to laugh more and more energy, more volume. And then my mouth will get smaller and smaller, and I'll laugh less and quieter. And you just copy me and discover that you have this ability to calibrate and modulate your smile and your laugh. So let's start with our mouth really small.
Oh, laughing too.
The most popular laugh in the world is silent laughter. But this idea of our mouth getting bigger and smaller and our laugh kind of equating to the size of our smile, this is an example of a gradient. So more and less. So we have many different ways that we can play with the gradient of less and more in our laugh. And it helps us discover that we have this kind of fine-tuned control over so many aspects of our life that maybe we don't feel so empowered about. So that's one of the kinds of lessons that laughter can help us learn, is really self-empowerment.
All right. Something tells me that you could probably give someone an entire degree in the subject of laughter. So it's amazing. From the, I mean, if you only have one book written, I'm looking forward to reading it and more, because I think you have all volumes inside of you that you can share from. Like now you're telling me there's rain, like that's like a musical thing. That's I'm okay. So make sure you let me know when your books come out. I'd like to see what your entire shirt says, because I think you wrote that. Trust me, I'm a laughter professional. Oh, perfect. Okay. So tell us, we are out of time. I'd like you, before we go, if you can tell us what we can expect when we see some of the links below. If you are tuning in from Facebook, please make sure that you check out pajamapartyprofits.com. We've got a link below. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, and there's all sorts of freebies there. And Dave is listing some links. So tell us what we're going to find at those links.
Sure. Well, on Facebook, which is my primary social media hub, there is the Daily Laughers group with thousands of people from all over the world. So you can connect with me there, as well as with laughter people from everywhere, and find people who laugh where you are. So you can plug into this. We also laugh on Skype every day. I host a live call that is at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. my time, 6 a.m. your time. That's every single day, and so you can laugh with me that way. At dailylaughers.com, that's where you can learn about like my books and my coaching programs. There's one in particular right now that's filling up called Laugh and Learn. This is a group coaching program that is open to people from all around the world. There's a couple of different times, like days and times, so hopefully for people in your time zone or your time zone, dear viewers, it will work out for you if you want to participate. And of course, I do one-to-one coaching as well. So dailylaughers.com for all of that. And I have a new ebook up there too called 5 Life-Changing Lessons About Laughter. That might be a good place to start.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. One correction there, because one of the things I do in content marketing is I help people create books, and I just launched a course last quarter. And I just want to let you know that if you've written an ebook, you have written a book. So yeah, we are now in the where are we? 2018. It's okay that your book is in the electronic version. So congratulations on getting another book done. Yay!
Yay! Thank you.
So thanks for saving paper. And I'll be reading that on my Kindle for sure. All right. Yeah, so before I let you go, I am going to go just have a whole laughing fit. I promise. I'm going to watch this. And that's not even, and the thing is that I laugh on this show all the time. And for some reason, I'm like, oh, he's a laughter expert. I can't laugh now. Do tell us though, you gave, and I know I'm probably going to send you a little meme, because what you said was really profound, in that our outside does not, I forget how you do it, so I have to go back and listen, but you said our outside basically doesn't dictate what we do, what happens on the inside, our emotions.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of memes. I think the one you're trying to formulate is, you are not your thoughts. It only feels like you are.
Wow. That's another one. That's another. Okay. Amazing.
This is stuff we can certainly explore more, like I said, in the Laugh and Learn group coaching program or in one-to-one sessions. Check it out on dailylaughers.com. It makes a big impact on people.
Okay. So before you go, can you tell us, this is what I ask every one of my guests, what is your biggest piece of advice to someone who knows they want to branch off onto their own? They know they want to help people, but they're just not sure how, like, in what way. How would you help them figure that out?
Do what you love. I mean, you asked me before, would I do this if I wasn't getting paid? Find that thing that you love to do, that you would do even without money, and then figure out who actually values it so much that they would pay you to do it with them.
Awesome. Thank you again. I really appreciate your time, Dave, and I'm already in a better mood. So thank you very much, especially during that. Yeah. And I hope people go and check out your website, join at least during the daily, and maybe eventually join your group coaching. And I'll be buying both of your books and seeing what kind of degree I can get in laughter myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brenda. Great to meet you.
Bye-bye.